Hey guys, Colbert here. Welcome to another Racial Legends video. Guys, today we're going over Soulless, the Nitro Revenant legendary defense-based champion. We're gonna go over his skills, of course, gear, masteries, and you're gonna see what this champion can do for your team. He's a great tank, a great Void champion. Of course, not one of the top tier Void legendary champions, but still will carry you through dungeons, faction wars, and of course Doom Tower. So let's get into it. So guys, starting out, let's look at his, of course, his gear. I have him in all perception sets, so giving him accuracy and speed, both included in the set. This set can be crafted from the forge if you've unlocked it from level 30, and going forward, perception sets are just fantastic. You should focus all your crafting materials to them. You will not regret it, and the higher ones you craft, the better it is for you in the long run. So perception sets, of course, if you don't have those, you can either equip accuracy or speed, in my opinion. But of course, other sets like defense sets or maybe immortal sets might be good for him. But of course, focusing on that defense primary on the gloves and the chest is ideal in my opinion, because as a defensive champion, his damage is also based on how high his defense can get. So I do have him with 4,500 defense. This isn't a necessary amount to carry you through all the dungeons or faction wars, but the higher you get at this, the better it is. Of course, anything higher than 3,000 will get you going. So speed is of course 212. Ideally, you want to get close to this number as possible, so you go twice before any of the enemies within the dungeons. But if you can't get it there, then 170 to 160 is sufficient. And critical rate, critical damage is not really important in this kind of setup because of how Soulless skills work. Soulless does do some provokes. We're going to go over the skills in a bit, and you don't really need his damage. You want him there for the control, in my own opinion. So accuracy here, I went for over 300 accuracy, and that's for the Doom Tower hard specifically. So if you're looking for dungeons, over 200 will be more than sufficient. The same thing for faction wars as well. 220, 240 accuracy will be more than enough to carry you through there, and you will not get any resist other than the 3% guaranteed chance to get resisted. So that's always the case. It can happen, but over 350 is what's going to help you just carry through all the Doom Tower hard difficulty stages. So I have him with this amount of accuracy just to see on how he fares in there. In terms of gearing, of course, I went for primary in speed, defense percentage on chest and gloves. You can't really go wrong with this on a defense-based champion. And of course, on all the other items, I was trying to get speed and defense percentage if possible. On the weapon, you cannot get defense percentage, so I went with speed and some HP. If this was HP percentage, this would have been way better. The same thing on the helmet: accuracy, speed, defense, and HP percent. These are the best stats you can get on a helmet for this kind of champion. And of course, it's the same thing for the shield. If this was HP percent, I would be over the moon with this champion, and his gear. So let's go over his skills very quickly, and then we'll go over actually showing those skills in battle. So his A1 does a stun on a 35% chance. This goes all the way to 50% chance when booked. Not that bad, but it does take 4 books, and I don't think it's that important to book him out, in my opinion, at least for his A1. So his A2 does a 3 attacks at random. Each hit has a 75% chance to remove a buff. Places a provoke debuff for 1 turn if a buff is removed. So this is pretty good against champions that do have buffs. If they don't have buffs, unfortunately, you will not be provoking, which is kind of sad. I would like him to have more provokes that are guaranteed instead of having that contingency like that you need to remove the buff in order to apply that provoke. So yeah, I do like this, but it will not always work against enemies that don't have buffs going. But Reign of Terror, this is what makes him a legendary, honestly. Attacks all enemies AoE, so goes all the way to 4 turns cooldown when fully booked. Increase the duration of all debuffs on each target by 1 turn. This is very good for clan boss as well. If you're having difficulties in just keeping those debuffs on a target, you can still use Soulless in there, although he's not ideal for the clan boss. And then he places a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Ideally, he would place first the provoke and then increase the duration. Would be nice. 2-turn provoke. Anyway, place a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns, equal to 30% of the damage inflicted. This can go higher if you gear him out with critical rate and critical damage. I didn't do that. I went just straight primary stats, so he can be an effective tank. He'll get attacked when he does have those provokes on the enemies, and he needs to be like a sponge and taking on damage. Damage increased by 10% for each debuff on the target. So the more debuffs, the better. This does have a high multiplier, but in my opinion, don't go just chasing those high damaging stats with Soulless. You'd rather go for more defensive stats and accuracy, and of course speed, so he can rotate through this high cooldown skill. So this is a 4 turns cooldown when booked. So if not booked, you need 4 here, another 4 here, and then another 4 here. So 12 books for a champion that's not absolutely top tier. He's good, but not absolutely top tier. So 12 legendary books, top tier. So increase ally defense in faction crypts by 44%. This is very, very good. He's going to carry you through Faction Wars 21 for Night Rev for sure. You will not regret taking him in there, and he's going to help especially with this one. Increase the duration of debuffs, the provokes for the waves, and also the shield will help him stay alive for a little bit longer. Finally, guys, Masteries. This is very important. War Master is what I get always for these kind of champions that want to carry me through dungeons, faction wars, Doom Tower. You want to get this max HP skill. It definitely is more helpful than Giant Slayer since he is a single attack hitter with all his skills. There's no multi-hitting skills in there. So War Master is more beneficial for him in my opinion. So here I went just straight down the route. It's a very basic setup for Masteries. I even got kill streak right here, and the reason is because of the support tree. I went support tree, guys, only for one thing here. Only for one thing. I think that's the absolute reason to go for him if it's a carry that you want to have. So Evil Eye is a great skill to have when fighting in stages where the enemies, if they take a turn, they're gonna hit you hard. So you're gonna have provokes in them, you're gonna have a decreased attack on them, but sometimes that might be not enough. So Evil Eye can be very crucial in keeping a target from taking a turn, maybe keeping a Valkyrie from doing her big shield attack. So this one, Evil Eye, 20% down on their turn meter from single hit attackers. So he's a single hit attacker, so this is why I got Evil Eye. Of course, guys, I did not go for Sniper or Master Hexer because none of these are helpful for Soulless. So this can be maybe the point that you think, okay, maybe I should have gone defense. So getting that counter attack from Retribution, that might have been more beneficial for a champion like this, since if he gets attacked from the provokes, he'll lose some health and then he'll counter attack back to the enemies and hopefully stun them with that A1. That can happen. But as I said, I'd rather go for Evil Eye there. And then if this happens, so if somebody dies, he gains some extra speed, so he gains more turns. So this is the reason why I went the support tree. And of course, the extra accuracy doesn't hurt at all. So guys, let's just go in the Dragons 20 dungeon and see how good this Soulless is going to be when he does take a turn. So let's see what he does on auto on his first skill. So there's the A3, applied a provoke to everyone and also extended the duration of that attack down and defense down. That's very, very crucial in just allowing you to get those extra turns in there and have that defense down. So if you don't manage to kill the enemies in 2 turns, you still have 1 more turn of debuffs on them just because of that increased duration. Very, very good skill. And if you already have something like a Master Hexer on your debuffer in the beginning, you have the attack down for 4 turns, which is again huge. So look there, that A2 that did apply the provoke, and Soulless is just being a huge tank with that shield. Look at that shield, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing that he had all that shield to protect him. Of course, the enemies had attack down already, so the amount of damage they would do is insignificant. So let's see him take 1 more turn. I think he should have. Right, he did have the A2 right now. There's the A3, extended the duration of the debuffs and provokes on everybody. I think the control there that he provides to the team is just amazing. Just amazing. And definitely for the faction creeps, he's going to help you out, especially if you have something that poisons that final boss and you need to extend the duration of those poisons to get that little bit more damage in there. So in terms of how hard he hits, I also think he can hit very hard, and I've seen videos of Soulless actually soloing Minotaur. So if you want to go back a little bit in terms of defense and then take maybe critical rate gloves to get him to as close to 100%, then that's a good way to actually solo that Minotaur and have him as your Mino 15 farmer. So we'll actually test it out with the gear that I have on him right now. So perception gear, although it's going to be endgame, it's going to be reflecting, like possibly you would have gone maybe lifesteal if you want to have him as a solo champion for that main 015. So I want to see him do some damage though. 12,000 there. That wasn't a big crit. And yeah, with the gear that we have on him, it's reasonable. There's our A3 there, and we should be able to finish off this dungeon, no issues right here. Guys, next up, we're going to test him out in the classic arena and see how he can do against enemies that are usually very annoying. So very high damage dealing Abbess there. So I'm going to put in there a cleanser. I'm going to have my Tranda and of course my Soulless and test out if we can actually get some control going with that Soulless against a high team in arena. This is not platinum just yet, but we're very close to platinum there. So we protect ourselves here. The enemies do have that block debuff, so this will be a test of his A2. So his A2 attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 75% chance to remove a buff. And let's see if we can actually remove a buff, being the block debuffs, hopefully, and then actually apply that provoke. Let's see. Yes, we did remove those buffs. Removed every single buff actually there, and we did apply provokes, and that was huge. So look at that, we have control on that arbiter, control on that abyss. They won't hurt us anymore, and then on the next turn we can actually do the mass provoke, but because the enemies have that block debuffs, they're just going to be blocking that. But these two definitely are under control, which is the two more threatening ones, because arbiter can actually revive everyone if they die. So here Tranda will just clean up, and that was an easy win. Soulless did his job to basically protect my Tranda. So there's the provoke with that A3, and then Tranda to finish it off. So let's go and do another match here. Let's find this one here, 4.4k, and let's see. Yeah, this is a very low team, but yeah, we're faster. Gonna block any kind of debuffs. So here, good thing we had some speed on him, so 212 speed plus the boost that we got. So we managed to go before Madame. Madame would have been very annoying against us, and we probably would have lost here. So here we want to go with A3, of course, apply that provoke on everybody. Look at that provoke. There's the control, and even if somebody survived there, we would have had provoke, and we could have won the game much easier. So I think Soulless is a fantastic champion. If you did manage to get him, don't worry, you can take him to 60. You can fully ascend him, give him masteries. He's going to be a huge carry. There's many places within the game where you can take him, and he's going to be worthy. Even the clan boss in the beginning, just because of that A3 to extend the duration of the debuffs, it's going to help with extending the duration of attack down, and of course those poisons. So guys, thank you a lot for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and guys, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.